Welcome to the Knife of the Month video series. Jason Jeffrey here, helping you to choose and use your Cutco properly. Today we're going to start out immediately by preheating this pan. We're actually going to be cooking a 3-course meal here today in 18 minutes. The video is not going to take 18 minutes, but it's going to follow the course of the 3-3-6-6 rule to make this. Now it could be not necessarily just chicken, it could be fish or any other type of meat that we're going to cook here. And then your carrots and your dessert here, we're going to have baked apples. We're going to cook all three of these together in one small little pot here at the same time. And like I said, in 18 minutes. So we start by preheating the pan now. And to preheat the pan properly, it's pretty important because a preheated stainless steel pan properly will not allow things to burn and stick. Now, we're not going to be using oil, butter, salt, or anything like that here today. And we're still going to cook, and everything's going to come out great, and it's not going to stick. Now, if you take a look over here right now, as we're preheating the pan, it is not currently ready to put anything on. But when I put water in here as a test, it just kind of evaporates and doesn't do anything abnormal. Now, for those of you that don't know what I'm looking for right now, it'll actually be quite interesting for you to see for the first time. For those that you already know, you're going to basically have the water dance on the pan when it is actually ready. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the chicken on for 3 minutes, and then we're going to have the lemon pepper put on there, and then we're going to flip it over and set it for another 3 minutes and season it again, add the vegetables, and then we're going to have it covered for 6 minutes on medium heat. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to reduce it all the way to low for the last 6 minutes. Medium to low and you're good to go. That's the key when you're cooking with waterless cookware. Let's do another quick test here and see if we are ready to rock. It looks like we are. Now if you look at that, you'll be able to see that the water is almost like floating on the pan itself. Kind of like a cool little science experiment, right? So that means we're good to go. Let's go ahead and take this and reduce it down to medium. We'll add our chicken in. So chicken is going to go on. As soon as this touches here, it's not going to be able to be moved anymore. So with this much chicken, normally the chicken breast might be a little smaller than this, or you might only use one breast. I'm going to attempt to use both breasts here, but I'm going to have to place it very carefully because I'm not going to be able to move the chicken once it's in there. Okay, until 3 minutes has gone by, and then we're going to go ahead and we'll move it at that time. Oh. Slide this down here. Alright, let me go ahead and set the 3-minute timer on the clock today. And there we go. Now, in the meantime, with the carrot over here, I'm going to take the peeler and we can just peel off the ends in case you don't do that. This goes both ways, by the way, not just one way. And that's just one of the benefits of the Cutco peeler. Of course, to clean the blade, we can just kind of remove this, clean it out as well once we're done, and then put it back in. But I'm going to take this other half of this and I'm just going to peel it in, if I can get it to fall in there, into this little glass. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want you to see how much nutrients are in things that when you put it into water and how much is lost. We'll just shake that up for like 5 seconds, maybe less. And what was once clear water has now become, in 5 seconds, completely, obviously orange. Now, what happens when you boil it in water for 10 minutes? You're really destroying a lot of or taking out a lot of the nutrients, and then a lot of that ends up going down the drain, and the healthiest person is your kitchen sink. So when you cook with waterless cookware, not only are we able to cook things faster, as you're kind of noticing today, we're also able to cook things much healthier as well. So we have all of our carrots ready to go, and then we're going to throw these on top of the carrots as well. So we put some spices on here on the top part. A little lemon pepper. If you want, you can add salt right now as well. At the end, when we put the apple on, we're going to put a little cinnamon on top of that. We'll give it a little flavor. The apple's going to come out being quite sweet at the end. It's going to be our dessert for our 3-course meal. So I'll use a turning fork in just about 30 seconds to remove that chicken there. So because you're eating a lot of the nutrients in your food when you're cooking with Wallace cookware rather than eating drained food, again, it is healthier, but the food also tastes a lot better. Instead of draining a lot of the flavor into the water, and a lot of the taste goes into that, and then it gets drained out, then you're not taking any of the flavor out. Everything kind of locks in here, and all the flavor, nutrients, and color all just stay in the pot the whole time, and you eat it right away afterwards. Okay. So we have been 3 minutes here. So after 3 minutes, what will happen is the chicken will have loosened up just a little bit on the bottom. See, it's quite easy to move around now. And if there's little pieces of the chicken, it might come off. It's no big deal. For the most part, it's all off of there. We can even move around this other side at this point too. The juices have loosened it up. So now that we've got that on there, we're into our next 3-minute phase. I suppose I'll put a little bit more seasoning on this side right now. And then we'll go ahead and we can put in our carrots. I'm going to wait just a minute before we put in our carrots here as well. So in the pan here, what you're going to notice is I'm going to fill this all the way up to the very, very top. And in fact, it's going to go above the actual lip of the lid. When you're cooking with Wallace cookware, you want to have things full as much as possible, 3/4 to full. And you're actually going to be cooking from the sides in, the top down, and the bottom up. This actually has got a core inside of the metal here, which is 3 layers. And the layers inside of that are one of the best heat conductors that you have. It's an aluminum core. On the outside, though, you have 430 magnetic steel, which allows it to work on induction stovetops. You also have T304 surgical stainless steel on the inside. I'm getting a little technical here, but the point is the metal itself is not going to react with your food, and it allows you to cook things without reacting. Teflon, you know, stainless steel is normally the worst because everything would stick, and Teflon, Kelpon, Anilon is the worst. It's actually some of the chemicals are banned now in many countries. So we want to have something that works and doesn't stick and also makes it clean up easy. One of my favorite things about Cutco cookware is that the cleanup is easy. And we'll actually show you at the end of the video. We'll clean this up in about 20 seconds, the pan itself, maybe even less, back to new. So let's go ahead and add the carrots in here. We're just about 1.5 minutes in to the second 3 minutes. I'm going to kind of get this filled up to the top here before we reach our next waypoint. And then yes, the apple will actually fit on top of all of these things. Okay, let's grab our apple over here. This in here as well. Just kind of go around the sides. Cool. Add some cinnamon underneath these apples. Should be good to go, and we are ready to put the lid on. Okay, so that is on. It's actually going to form a seal right here with the lid onto the pan, vapor seal, and this will make it so nothing's going to be able to escape from the pan. All the moisture, all the nutrients, all the flavor, all the color is basically locked in. In fact, when you get the seal done properly on here, you'll actually be able to feel a little bit of a suction on the lid when it's formed in onto the pan. You kind of lift up a little bit and still feel a little bit of resistance as you lift the pan. So for now, we've got another 6 minutes at this medium heat here to go. We might even take it down just slightly. And then I'm gonna literally take this all the way to low for the last 6 minutes, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna take a look at at what we've created at that point. And that's it. I mean, that is our 3-course meal, literally in 18 minutes. Waterless cookware is the healthiest, the fastest, and the easiest cleanup of all the cookwares. If you know what you're doing, it's pretty simple. Medium to low and you're good to go. Preheat properly and you're good to go. And that's it, guys. So if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. And when we come back here in a second, I'm going to talk about what the next knife is that we're going to be talking about. We did use a knife today. We used the vegetable knife for cutting the carrots. But the next one is going to be one, well, I'll just tell you right now. It is the most flexible knife that we've ever made in the whole catalog. It's a knife that people will call it the name in the catalog it is, but a lot of my customers call it something else. And they've taught me this over the many years of me upgrading them to the bigger set, that when they've got it in their set, what it is and how it works. And it's probably the best knife for that particular task. So I'm excited to share that with you as well. We'll come back here though. We have about another 11 minutes left or so, and we'll see in a minute. So let's take a look here. It's been 18 minutes, actually a minute over here. We'll go ahead and take this top off, and you can see that these guys are nice and soft and cooked. You don't want to peek when you're cooking waterless cookware. You want it to keep all that moisture in there. In fact, let's take a look at how much moisture is in this as well. So we'll make sure 2 people will be well fed here today. This guy out here, and then we've got our carrots. Let's put these onto there. Oopsies, and we got one more over here. Easier to get the rest out as we remove the chicken. So we'll take that out first. This guy out next. And you can see all the juice that's in there. It's actually usually pretty good, so just leave it out, leave it in there. All right. So there we go. Now, if you want to take a look at how easy this is to clean, just this guy in here, and that is pretty much ready to go. Either into the dishwasher, someone wanted to use it in the dishwasher. Heaven forbid someone put their cutler in the dishwasher. Well, half my customers do, half of them don't. It is said to be dishwasher safe by the company. But why would you really need to use a dishwasher? I mean, it's that simple, you guys, to clean up. I guess I understated with the 20 seconds, maybe 10, right? I look forward to seeing you guys in a few weeks for the most flexible knife that we make. Talk to you then.